Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This week I'm glad you guys are back for a brand new recipe. This week we're going to be making a highly requested video for rice. This is the easiest recipe you can have on how to make rice. But before we get started with today's video, I just want to remind you guys to please subscribe to our channel. Give this video a big thumbs up and share with your friends if you loved it. Today we are going to be making a delicious yellow rice with sweet bell peppers. I promised you guys this recipe a couple months ago, but with family problems happening all last year and a half, it had been really hard for me to film this, but today I have it here ready for you guys. For today's video, let's get started with the ingredients. We're going to be needing 2 garlic cloves, a little piece of white onion, some Knorr cubes, this is caldo de pollo, 6 mini sweet bell peppers, 2 of each color. And this is my all-time favorite brand of jasmine rice to make. This rice, I make it for white rice, red rice, yellow rice, any type of rice that I'm going to be cooking. This is my all-time favorite to go, especially cooking in big portions for parties. I highly recommend this brand. You can buy it at any store. We're also going to be adding a little bit of salt depending on how you taste on it. We're going to be cutting our sweet bell peppers. We're going to be slicing them. You want to remove the seeds. Even though these are not spicy bell peppers, you still want to remove the seeds just because it's unhealthy for us to eat seeds. I try to make my food as healthy as I can. And these seeds accumulate in your stomach. And at the end, you can accumulate so many seeds that it can erupt inside of your stomach. And that's very dangerous. So I just try to keep it as healthy as I can. So I'm going to be removing the seeds. You can leave them in there if you want. And same thing, you can cut them into squares, slices, or round, whichever ones you guys want. You can also substitute the sweet bell peppers for just frozen mixed vegetables that has like carrots, peas, corns, or canned vegetables. Or you can even do fresh vegetables if you want as well. Now that we have our sweet bell peppers cut up, we're going to move on to the stove. First off, you want to make sure that you have your sauce ready. On this mini blender, I'm going to be adding 3 cups of water, but you can also use chicken broth. I'm going to be adding 2 garlic cloves and the piece of onion and 1 of the Knorr cubes. If you have the powder one, that works as well, but this specifically cube ones are going to give it that nice and yellow color on there. You can also use the powder. Use about 1 tablespoon. I'm going to blend this very well for about a minute. After that, on a skillet, I'm going to be adding a little bit of vegetable oil. Once that has been heating up, we're going to be adding our white rice. I'm going to be using 1.5 cups. We're going to be toasting our rice for about 3 minutes on medium heat. You want to make sure you keep moving your rice to toast it. You don't want to burn your rice, and you want to make sure that your rice is very toasted all the way, not just on one side but all over around. You're going to know it's ready because you start to hear this grobbled noise, like little rocks moving against each other, and the color is going to change. Usually the color at the beginning is going to be like a white color. At the end is going to be like a light brown color. You don't want to overburn it, but you also want to make sure you toast it very good. It takes about 3 minutes on medium heat, but it can also depend on your stove, on how high or low your stove goes. I'm going to be putting a comparison of how my rice looked at the beginning and how it looks at the end, just so you guys can see a difference on the colors. My all-time favorite brand of jasmine rice to make. Get this mini size brand one because I have tried the big 5-pound ones. Those don't work as well as this one, or at least it doesn't taste the same. So get this miniature one, don't get the 5-pound one. Once I have my rice ready, I already have my sauce ready as well. So I'm going to be grabbing my lid and covering it halfway, just leaving a tiny bit open so I can throw my sauce on there. Once I have my sauce in the pan, I'm going to be covering it very good. Make sure none of the air escapes. This is because we want all the heat to concentrate in the pot so it can boil. A minute later, my rice is starting to boil. I'm going to uncover it and I'm going to taste it. Taste the water. Make sure it has enough salt. If it does, don't add any. I felt like mine was missing a little bit of salt, so I'm going to be adding just a tiny pinch of salt on here. I'm also going to be adding my sweet bell peppers at this time. If you're going to be using vegetables, you can add them now. Once I have everything ready, I'm going to cover this, and I'm not going to uncover this from now on. This is going to stay covered for about 10 minutes on low heat. Depending on how much rice you're going to be making, it's going to depend on how long it's going to take. But for 1.5 cups of rice, I'm going to be using between 3.5 to 4 cups of water. For every cup of rice that you use, you want to use 2 cups of water. But because I'm going to be uncovering this stove to show you guys, I'm going to be adding an extra cup for that steam that's going to be releasing every time that I opened up the lid. Also, if you don't have a pot fits the lid perfectly, you also want to add that extra cup of water in there just because of the steam is coming out, and that's water coming out as well. You know, water evaporates, so the water becomes into steam. So we're going to cover this up, let it here for about 10 minutes on low heat. After 10 minutes, I'm going to uncover this really quickly. I'm going to put it on slow motion so you guys can see how it looks like. But as you can see, my rice doesn't have that much water left in there. But once you see that your rice starts to look like this, you want to turn off the stove and don't open it. Just keep it in there for about 5 to 10 minutes. The rice is going to soak up all the water and it's going to finish cooking. 10 minutes later, I'm going to uncover my pot and this is how it looks like. As you can see, there is no more water in here and all the vegetables have risen to the top. On camera, the rice looks a little bit more on the whiter side, but I promise you it has like a light yellow tone to it. That's why I call it yellow rice, and also because it has the bell peppers in there and it gives it this yellow color. It's a good way to get your kids to eat vegetables. And if you want to make this recipe very fancy, on a bowl, put a little bit of rice on there, pack it very good, put a plate on top of the cup and flip it around, and it's going to give you this nice mold for your rice that you can serve it, make it look very presentable. Just in case you guys are wondering how people do that, here's a tip for it. And this is the end result for our rice. I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Share with your friends if you loved it. Comment down below what other recipes you would want me to make next. I know one of you guys requested some smoothies. I am working on recipes on how to do that. I have a couple of them on hand already, but I want to do different varieties on it. I'm working on next week's recipe as well, so make sure you guys keep an eye on that. It's going to be pork ribs and chile colorado with a side of rice. This is the rice that I'm going to be using for that recipe as well, so I'll leave the link down below for next week's recipe whenever it's uploaded. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Share with your friends if you loved it. And we'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!